The image bearers of God by creation awaits. The Bible presents a profound and rich tapestry of metaphors and teachings aimed at conveying deep spiritual truths. One of the central themes is that of humanity being created in the image of God, a concept introduced in the very first chapter of Genesis. This foundational idea sets the stage for understanding our purpose and identity as human beings. However, this image was marred by sin, and it is through Jesus Christ that we can be restored to our intended role as image bearers of God. This essay will explore how the Bible sets us up to understand that the ultimate representation of God occurs when we are grafted onto Jesus, who is depicted as a tree or vine. In John 15, Jesus uses the metaphor of the vine to describe the essential nature of our relationship with Him. He states, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser." This metaphor is rich with meaning and echoes Old Testament imagery, where Israel is often depicted as a vine or vineyard, like Isaiah and Psalms. However, where Israel failed to produce the fruit God desired, Jesus declares Himself as the true vine that perfectly fulfills God's purpose. In Galatians, the Apostle Paul describes the fruit of the Spirit, which are the visible manifestations of a life transformed by the Holy Spirit. These qualities, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, are not just moral virtues, but reflections of God's character. As we bear these fruits, we mirror God's nature to the world. Bearing fruit is not a solitary endeavor, but a communal one. As we grow in the fruit of the Spirit, we influence those around us, helping them to also reflect God's image. This is how we duplicate ourselves and other people to be image bearers of God. Jesus does not shy away from warning about the consequences of not abiding in Him. In the Gospel of John, He states that branches that do not remain in Him are thrown away, wither, and are ultimately burned. This stark imagery underscores the seriousness of our need to remain connected to Jesus. Without Him, we lose our source of spiritual life and vitality. Jesus is the perfect image of the invisible God, as stated in Colossians 1:15. He perfectly embodies and reveals God's nature, character, and will. As the firstborn of all creation, Jesus holds preeminence over all things. He is not a created being, but the eternal Son of God, through whom all things were created. In Jesus, we see the fullness of God in human form, making Him the ultimate representation of what it means to be an image bearer of God. God calls us to be His image bearers, a role that is deeply rooted in our creation and restored through our relationship with Jesus Christ. Being made in the image of God is both an honor and a responsibility. It is through Jesus, the true vine, that we can fulfill this calling. By abiding in Him, we bear the fruit of the Spirit, reflecting God's character to the world. Have you been a good image bearer of God to those around you?